So the first part talks about the innovation. So the policy supports the startups in transforming innovative ideas into commercially viable products. So through their financial assistance for patent filing and R&D projects grant. So these incentives encourages innovation, protect their intellectual property, and promote the technology development within Karnataka. And the second one is about employment. To encourage startups to create quality jobs, the policy provides PF or ESI reimbursement for eligible startups and internship support as well. So these incentives will help them to reduce the cost of hiring while enabling startups to build a skilled workforce. So the third one is market expansion. So here global Karnataka it is. So initiative assists the startups in exploring the international markets through participations of exhibition, trade fairs, and business networking events. So of course, this will help the investors, customers, and strategic partners to accelerate business growth. So the last one is growth and scaling. As the startups grow, the policy supports them through the quality certification cost reimbursement and the state GST reimbursement. So finally, cloud storage support. So these incentives improves. Yeah. So this incentives improve the product quality, reduces the operational cost, and enable the startups to scale efficiently and become globally competitive. The next slide. And who is eligible to claim these incentives, and to get eligibility, what needs to be the startup is. So the first is, as per the new guidelines of the DPIIT or the Government of India's definition, is about the startup has to be either private limited, partnership, or PVT, LLOPC, private limited, LLP, or finally cooperative. That startup has to be recognized under the Cooperative Societies Act. And the location part, so the startup should belong to Karnataka only. That the incorporation must be done within Karnataka only. And the next one is, to avail these incentives, one startup has to possess a valid KITS startup registration certificate. As I have indicated in this slide, you can see the sample of the certificate. So this is the certificate that one startup will be eligible. And if you see the validity part, since the date, once the startup has got the certificate, they will be eligible for next 10 years or till the startup turns into 10 years old company. So the upcoming slide is the overview of incentives. Next slide. So here, first one is state GST reimbursement and patent subsidy is global Karnataka, quality certification cost reimbursement, PF or ESI reimbursement, cloud storage reimbursement, R&D grant support, and last, the internship support. Next slide. So in the coming slides, we'll see the each and every incentive in a greater detail. So the first one is patent filing cost reimbursement. So here you can, again, I don't want to waste your time in giving the introduction for each and every incentive. So we'll jump into the mandatory documents, that is requirements, and the cap to claim the reimbursement. So the mandatory documents, bank transaction statements are required. This is the main required document to validate whether the startup has really spent on their own. And relevant invoices are required, which is raised by either by the patent attorney or directly by the vendor. So, and annexure, which is detailed statement of expenses, which will be having details about their total claim and each and every details of the incentives. The invoices. And finally, a notarized affidavit is required, which has to be executed on 100 rupees e-stamp paper. And here you can see the total cap. So reimbursement will be given for the professional cost, that is up to 40% on the total 75% of reimbursement. And the remaining 60% of that out of 75% will be given for the official cost or government charges. And the validity is 12 months from the date of their patent filed. And here one, you have to see that the maximum claim is 5 claims per startup per year. And up to 15 lakhs startups can claim this reimbursement. So hope we are clear on this patent reimbursement. If it is fine, we'll go to the next one. And in this slide, we have specifically mentioned that the patent has to be one complete specification. So here startups will get confused where the patents which are in the provisional stage will also applicable or not. So here that's why we have clearly mentioned only the complete specification patents will be eligible here. And the next one is it has to be filed on company name only. It should not be on individual's name. And it will directly it will come under as a utility patent. So clearly to say design patents we will not be giving the reimbursements. And if you see the opposite side, it must not be a provisional specification. Again, I mentioned, and it should be filed. It should not be filed on individual name. Design patent it should not be. And finally, the patent assignee change must not be done, or it should not be given as a reimbursement. We'll go to the next one. So now state GST reimbursement. Here, department is giving net SGST as a reimbursement. So how to get the net SGST? Here, one small illusion we have given. As you can see, uh, so total input tax credit minus output tax credit, which is net SGST. So only the state component will be given as a reimbursement. So mandatory documents, of course, we require GST registration certificate, notarized affidavit executed on the stamp paper. So GST 3B certificate and payment challenge are required, and detailed statement of expenses. So, and CA certified statement on fixed capital investments. So here, fixed capital investments will be considered uh, to mention a total cap on till how much one startup can claim the reimbursement, and invoices and receipts, which are whichever is necessary. And validity, it is for 7 years from the date of commercialization of the startup, and within the end of the financial year. Let's say, for example, now the financial year is 26 and 27. So startups will be eligible to claim only the previous year's financial year, fiscal year's GST. And the limit is up to 50% of the net SGST with a cap of 100% fixed capital investments. Okay. So we'll go to the next one. Hmm. So the next one is Global Karnataka, which is marketing cost reimbursement. So mandatory documents, again, we require annexures, notarized affidavits, along with the tax invoices and payment receipts. Here, we require documents like their travel tickets, their invoices raised by the vendor or the exhibitor, event exhibitors, and their welcome letter or invitation letters from the organizers. And finally, we require the traveler's passport and visa as well. So here you can see reimbursements will be given up to 40% on their travel cost, visa charges, TADA, that is $100 per day. And if they have gone for any trade show participation, exhibition, again, here the notable point is if the event is partly sponsored or organized by the department, our department, 50% will be given as upfront in the exhibition cost. And if it is not organized by the department, uh, as a whole, 40% will give the reimbursement. And finally, the validity must be within 6 months, one startup can claim this reimbursement once they come back from that event. And the maximum limit is 2 employees per startup up to 2 international events per day. So hope it is clear. So we'll go to the next one. Cost reimbursement. Again, here documents are very simple. Annexure, notarized affidavit, tax invoices and payment receipts, and finally the self-attested copy of industry quality certificates. So here the certificates are like CE marketing, ISO certification, CMMI certification, SA certifications, and etc. That etc. includes all the kinds of certification. This thing. certifications. So here the validity is must be claimed within 12 months from the date of their application submitted for the certification, and the limit is maximum 5 industry quality certificates during the policy period, which is till 2030. Okay. So I think it's very pretty simple. We'll go to the next one. The next is PF ESI reimbursement. So to promote the employment generation among the startups, department is giving PF or ESI reimbursement that is up to 12 that is that is up to 3,000 per employee per month for the first 2 years of their employment. So as you can see the illustration, we have mentioned up to 3,000 per employee, and here there is no maximum limit on the number of employees. And the mandatory documents, annexures, notarized affidavit, PF or ESI contribution receipts or challenge which are required, and bank account statements which are necessary, and finally the salary slip of the employees. And validity, it must be claimed within 12 months after providing the PF or ESI, which is capped at 12 lakhs per company during the policy period. So the next one is cloud storage cost reimbursement. So here reimbursements will be given for cloud computing as well as for the cloud storage. So documents again very simple. Annexures, notarized affidavits. Here proof of monthly or quarterly or annually payment towards cloud storage and computing is required with relevant invoices and receipts. And bank transaction statements are also required to validate that whether really the transaction is made or not. And the limit is it is capped up to 1 lakh per company during the policy period, which means one startup can claim only once, that is up to 1 lakh during the entire policy period. Okay. And here one notable thing is the startup within the first 5 years of their incorporation are the eligible one to claim this 40% of reimbursement.
I'm sorry, I'm not
The
very
next one
clear
is
about
internship support.
in the
Here,
previous slide.
as I mentioned in the
I'm not
beginning
clear
itself,
about the
so
policy part.
startups can claim up to 5,000 per month per intern. Okay, so we're up to 15,000 to the maximum
Pratap,
of
there was
3 interns.
question from Tanvir, I think. Tanvir. So maybe we can take later, Tanvir.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, yeah. So
Thank you.
questions. I think we are about to finish the incentive type of incentives. So we'll keep the question answers at the end. Okay. So I was telling one startup can claim up to 5,000 per month per intern. That is for the maximum of 6 months. Okay. And the validity startups can claim this within 1 year from the completion of their internship course, and which is capped at up to INR 5,000 per intern for maximum of 3 interns. That is and it can be claimed in 3 cycles. Okay. And here this benefit cannot be clubbed with Yuvanidhi scheme, which means those interns have already got benefit under the Yuvanidhi scheme are not eligible to claim again internship support under Karnataka startup policy. It's very clear. For this, we require the documents like the intern's government ID proof, their and then the startup the bank statements that really the startup has paid the stipend on monthly basis to the interns and all. And the rest of the documents remains the same: annexures, notarized affidavit. Okay. So and the last one is R&D reimbursement, R&D grant reimbursement. Actually, it is not reimbursement; it's a R&D grant support. So where to foster innovation, drive economic growth, build self-reliant in cutting-edge technologies like the new deep tech sector. So department is giving R&D grant support to the startups. And here, first of all, it is a triple helix model. It works in a triple helix model where industry, academia, and startups will be involved in it. So simply to say, startups with their some deep tech R&D projects that has to be endorsed by the either industry or academia, okay, or by the government supported incubation centers. So here mandatory documents little lengthy, where annexures are required along with notarized affidavit. There we require project proposal document that should have their objective, methodology, and milestones as well. So here milestones means they have to project for the next 6 months or 1 year how they are going to develop their product or project. So as per that, the grants will be released to the selected startups. So there will be an MOA between the startup and the department. So as per that MOA, startup has to give their UCs or the project report on completion of the tranche. So it is up to 50% of the total cost, that is capped at INR 1 crore for maximum of 25 projects per company during the policy period. So hope the end of the session. Yeah. So this is our contact details. So you can download the OPG clicking on the given the mentioned link. And now we are okay. Yeah. So any question answers?
We are open to Q&A.
Hello.
Yeah, Hitesh.
Hi. I think someone was before me, so I don't mind going second once.
Tanvir,
Yeah.
Tanvir, please go.
Yeah, thank you, Hitesh. So my question was towards the policy period. Can you just brief me about what is exactly policy period?
Sorry, please come again. There was an issue with the audio.
I want to know what do you mean by policy period?
Yeah. C period means validity period. I mean, if the startup has launched in the year 2025, it is for next 5 years, which is till 2030. That is policy period, the living period of the policy. Again, even after 2030, the new policy will come. Either the new one will come or the running one will continue.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Can we get the PDF of this presentation, or where do I find the information?
Definitely. So, is it available? Yes. Yeah. So I think it is already available in our website. We'll share the website link as well as the contact details with the CySecK team, so they will assist you. And
That would be
actually, I forgot to mention one more thing. So as everybody knows already about the LEAP program, so Local Economy Acceleration Program, which is launched by the government of Karnataka. So there was one of the budget head says about the reimbursement on national level, attending national level events or trade show participations. So here, as a regular basis, policy is giving only for the international trips. Under LEAP, startups can claim for the national level events as well. Okay. And regarding this, some information is available. I think we will collect it and deliver to the CySecK team. Okay. Some startups can claim under LEAP as well. And again, LEAP will be there for next 5 years. It's a 5 years project.
Hi, Pratap. Hitesh here.
Hi, Hitesh. Heli.
Yeah. So actually, if I look at the last slide on your presentation, right, you had mentioned this website for registration. So as far as I know, to get any of these incentives, you first need to get registered with the ITBT department, right?
Exactly.
But I got stuck there because it says that a DD has to be drawn to make a payment of 10,000 rupees towards submitting this application.
I think you are trying to register under different policy where no fee is applicable under Karnataka startup policy. It's completely free of.
See, as far as I understood, there is this. If you open your presentation and go to the last slide, you have that link mentioned actually.
Okay, just a minute. Yeah. So once you click on the link, it will take you to the startup vertical page, where you will be finding options for as a
Yeah. So
department.
there is
about this.
ESDM, IT, ITES,
Correct.
and
So again,
right.
if you go under department, there are options to register with Startup Karnataka, where in bracket we have mentioned no registration fee. So that is the currently available application.
Okay. If you don't mind, sir, I'll try it once more. But we generally, I mean, the problem is not that the DD. The problem is whom to draw it in favor of, and we were not getting that correct information. We tried to call a couple of times, but somehow did not end up with the right information to get that completed from our side.
Hitesh, maybe I can share you the correct link where you can apply.
Yeah,
So
please
that
do. Because, please, yeah.
Yeah, kindly
maybe
find
the
in the
chat.
chat box. I have pasted it.
So in the
Yeah,
chat
so
board also they have given the registration link. Maybe you can copy paste that and you can apply from that.
All right.
we have posted the link as well.
So this is
You can
the portal to register as of today, right? The correct one.
you can try now also. You can directly go to the page under department, the third option. It is direct.
It's a direct link.
Yeah. So actually, I have
Okay.
already created an application. I already have a signed in thing
Okay.
here.
So again,
So
again creating after creating user ID, you'll go
uh-huh.
to the dashboard. So under dashboard, Hari.
Under dashboard, you will be finding two options. Don't go with corporate. You have to go with the startup registration. Once you click on that, there will be three steps will be there. Once you complete that, there will be last step. You have to click on OK, where it will take you to the DigiLocker step. Once you complete only, we'll get the application. And the startup registration is completely no registration fee.
Okay. When I log in, I get 5 options: information technology, biotechnology, ESDM, animation, and data center.
No. Now I have pasted no, sir. In
Yeah,
the
ma'am. Same
chat.
link. Same link.
Same link. If you paste it, you will get a login page.
I logged in.
Oh, can I know your company name, sir?
NetSense Cybersecurity.
Might be you're registered because
Yes.
otherwise you will not be able to view the page. I think you have completed the
Yes.
registration process.
Yes.
Can you tell me your company? Okay.
So
We can.
in interest of
I can call you back after the call, ma'am, if that's
Okay,
okay.
okay. I'll paste my
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please,
You
numbers
can
also in the chat.
we can connect with your startup team so
yes,
that later after the session you can connect with them.
Yes.
so Ms. Manasa, please share our contact details to the startups so that it will be helpful for them to reach out to us directly.
Yes, Pratap. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do that.
And in the interest of time, we'll
Yes.
go to
No,
the
I
Q&A.
understand. We'll talk
Next question.
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Prasad, this is the last one quick question here. This I'm Pranesh from Pro Innovations. See, we submitted for R&D grant. Means we submitted
Okay.
all the details. After that, I'm finding a problem of no update. Whether it is selected, rejected, any information, it is that part. And I would request, pardon?
Yes, documents. The first level of document verification we have started. So because R&D grant support is
No. We submitted in 2025, and in January, February 2026, we were asked to submit the DPR, and we submitted that as well. I'm talking from
Mr. Pranesh, may I know your company name?
Pro Innovations.
Sir, I think you have applied in different policy. There are so many policies: IT, BT, ESDM, AVGC, and startup policy. So you have might be applied in different policy. If you go with the link, whichever will provide, no, it will be for startups. Startup policy under, if you click on and if you submit the application, we will get it. Might be you have submitted to some other policy.
No, madam, R&D grant only. For R&D grant.
Only, but here the point is their department has many policies like Startup Karnataka.
Now,
Different policy where every policy has R&D by default. So here under our policy, we have received only applications where your startup application is not there. So again, the link is already given in the PPT where the PPT will be shared later after this session. Okay. So there you will find the link to apply for the R&D under startup policies. So then you can apply for it. Then I'll ask my colleague the different policies box to connect to you, sir, to get back to you.
Sure.
Okay. Any questions related to our incentives?
See, for patent reimbursement, see, I was trying to apply on the online other than the checklist what you mentioned. Is there any incubation, some letter, something we need to submit?
Oh, it is the previous one, sir. So now
Previous one, right? Now it is not there.
Correct. The completely
great. Great.
department has
So,
reduced the
Pranesh, in the
conflicts.
interest of time, maybe we will
Surely,
connect
I'll
with
connect.
Pratap for you. So we
That's
can go
fine.
with next session is also there. That's
Okay.
why.
Yeah, that's
So
fine.
yeah, if
Please.
there is some other question, we can take it out.
Sure, that's fine.
So,
But
Manasa, just one more thing I want to mention. So, we have a
Yes, Pratap.
cybersecurity policy as well, where incentives are available for, especially for cybersecurity sector startups.
I think I submitted in the cybersecurity policy
Ah,
R&D
okay.
grant.
Yes, Pratap.
So,
Yeah.
there is a person called Miss Saujanya. So, I'll share her details as well, where you
Please.
can
That
pass
will
it to the
help. Yes.
startups. Hmm.
Please. Please share
Yeah,
the
we
details
will
of
take one
Saujanya.
more session on that for startups. Like
Correct, correct, correct.
last year also we had one. We'll be sending, and we have Venkata has raised his hand. Yeah, please.
Hello, my name is Venkata Edvalli. Sorry for I joined a little bit late. Would you have those PPT or the recording so that I can go through back again to view the incentives and incubation help, which I was dealing with this robotic startup?
Okay, Mr. Venkat, we'll share the PPT anyways. Okay. And I
We will
think
share it.
for recordings, you have to connect to CySecK team only.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Since it is a
Venkat,
Google Meet,
yeah,
I
after
think.
the session we can share you this PPT.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other
So
questions? Hope all the startups, I think this is the right time to mention about the registration as well. If Manasa permits, I'll take another 2-3 minutes for the registration part.
yeah,
Because
Pratap.
to get any of these incentives, the first and foremost eligibility is to get the certificate. So where startups are still finding challenge. Okay. So for registration, Ms. Ovia will take you through the registration process. Just she will mention the mandatory documents are required because as comparatively we have reduced the n number of documents to the extent that only startups are required to uh, submit 2 or 3 max to max three to four documents. That's it. Okay. So Miss Ovia, over to you, please.
Yeah, actually, which link I have pasted in the chat box. No, once you click on that, you will get a dashboard page where you have to go with the startup registration, not with the corporate. Upon clicking the startup registration, you will find all those your details or company details, PAN, SIN number, everything. Once you fill out, the most mandatory step is like you have to complete the DigiLocker step, upon which only your application will come to us. By within a day also, you will get a startup registration certificate. For that, the entity type should be private limited, OPC, LLP, partnership firm, and newly, according to the latest definition, we have added the multi-cooperative society also. So you can apply on that, and the startup must be within the date of incorporation should be 10 years, and the revenue should not cross 200 crores. If all the conditions are eligible, you can apply for the startup registration. Once you complete the registration, once you get the certificate, you can avail all the 8 incentives from startup Karnataka. If
Okay,
any
thanks,
doubts in
Ovia.
anything, you can connect with us. We'll help you through anytime.
So in the comment section, we'll mention our contact details.
Contact.
And here, just again want to mention about the DigiLocker step, which is most important thing.
So I request startup team if you have any demo video or any some presentation how to do registration, so that would be helpful so that we can share it to the startups participants and all.
Correct, correct. Great idea, Mansa.
I'll
So,
just share.
yeah,
We'll make a
we're
small.
happy to have another session exclusively for registration purpose. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we are clear on the incentives. Since there is no any questions, we are pretty clear on the each and every incentives.
Thank you, Pratap, and thank you, Ovia, and thank you, startup team, for
So
the
thank you,
session.
Ms. Manasa, and especially team CySecK. So thank you for inviting us to this meeting. So again, it will helpful. It will be helpful for us to get more applications. Okay. So again, despite having many meetings with other partners, there are very less numbers in the applications. Hope we might receive more applications from your end. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely our startup will apply. No worries. Yeah. Thank you, Pratap. Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.
now we will move to our next speaker, Neil Kevin Matris. He's a co-founder and CEO of the Super Labs. So Neil is expertise in working in innovation ecosystem and government initiatives, and can help us or startups go through how tax exemptions can work for startups growth and strategies. So Neil, over to you, Neil.
Yeah, Manas, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, Neil. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
hi,
audible.
hi everyone. This is Neil Kevin Mattis here. As Manas has cited, I'm the co-founder of Zapple Labs. We were also in your shoes a few years back. We were part of CySecK cohort 3 few years back as well. And since then, we have had some good amount of growth. And I'll start sharing my deck. Manas, just let me know once you're able to see it. I can start from there. Is it up, Manas, sir?
Yes, Neil. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So the main topic that I wanted to cover is something called ATISC exemption, which we have received several months back, which less than 2% of the registered startups usually get it. It's slightly tricky compared to getting the regular startup recognition. And probably I'm hoping to give you a bit more of guidance and what are the minimum things that are required, what to look forward and how to apply for it so that your chances of getting this exemption is more. So, all of us are familiar with this particular certificate, right? So usually it's pretty for any company which is having some level of innovative ideas or technologies, and it is less than 10 years old. You can go to Startup India portal, DAPP portal, and get this certificate recognition. So very straightforward. And what it unlocks, as all of us we know of, is you'll be exempt for angel taxes. Then especially if you're operating in the domain of government procurement, if you're trying to procure things in some from government, so you get a lot of relaxations when it comes to EMDs, that is nothing but earnest money deposits. Then some of the government allow you to relax their criteria for this for a turnover without any prior turnover, without prior experience, you can go and participate in tenders. But I'm not really sure whether you've seen this certificate. So this is a certificate that I'll be mainly speaking on today. So it's called Certificate of Eligible Businesses, which you get it, which is not directly approved by DIPP. Department Startup India has a separate panel or a board called Interministerial Board, consisting of representative from DIPP, the DST, Department of Science and Technology, and some academic expert, and they get to decide whether you get this certificate or not. And if you get this certificate under the category that you apply, I mean, let's say your company is giving 4 to 5 different kinds of services, right? So let's just, for example, let's say you have an IT product. At the same time, you might be having a separate services line or a defense product line, right? So you can apply for one of the streams and you get this exemption for 3 years that all your profits for the next once you get the certificate will be exempt. You don't have to pay any income tax on those profits, but for the vertical which you have only applied, not for all the verticals that your company might be catering to. So let's try to uh, have some insights into the success rates or the conversion rate. So this scheme was officially launched in 2016 along with the Startup India program as part of the Finance Act 2016, and until last year this was uh, kind of applicable since 2026, but during the 2025 budget this has been further extended to 2030, meaning companies who have incorporated between 2016 and 2030 as per the latest policy can apply for this. As of yesterday, when I checked, so there are about 2.5 lakh plus registered startups on the Startup India portal. And out of them, so far, as of the last financial year, that is March 31st, only somewhere about 3,700 companies have got this exemption, who have applied and got this exemption. So the conversion rate is also pretty low. But if if you are able to go through the checklist or some of the pointers that I'll give you, I'm sure you can be one of these startups who get into this particular rail club. Before I get into how to apply, what you have to prepare for. So the main question is where to apply. So I'm sure all of you have your Startup India registration portal whereby you have a login. So under the recognition table that I've shown here, so you have an option called as apply for tax exemption. So this is the place whereby you can
Neil, you're on mute.
yeah. Can you hear me right now?
Yes.
Since which slide was I on mute? Manasa?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah. So since which slide was I on mute? Do I need to go back?
No, we lost you just 30 seconds back.
Okay, so was I covered?
Yeah,
Did you hear me
yeah.
this time?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So I was just reiterating saying that the place to apply this is within your Startup India portal itself, whereby under the recognition tab that you see, there is an option called as apply for tax exemption. So you can go there and explore. Obviously, I'll walk you through all the steps and what you have to take off to apply for this, right? And again, I don't know, I didn't mute my sound. Maybe there was a bug with the Microsoft team. In case I get muted again, please alert me, right? So before I get into the weeds of it and how it is done in a stepwise manner, I wanted to give you a macro level view of how it looks like and mostly the timelines, right? So the first most important thing is that you have to be a DPIIT recognized startup. You have to have the certificate. And as I told you, I showed you the portal whereby you can go and apply for this exemption. Given my experience, I'll walk you through the checklist of documents and other things that you have to prepare. Typically, it will take you about a week of time to prepare all these applications and then apply. Once you apply, officially the documentation says that this export board, that is the IMB board, will get back to you within 120 days. But in my experience, what I've seen is that this board convenes somewhere about 3 to 4 times a year. It is not a frequent activity that happens. And in our experience also, typically it can take somewhere about 4 to 5 months for you to get a response. So usually what you will do is either, in case they have any clarifications, if they are not satisfied with some of the things that you have satisfied, you in a period of 3 to 4 months, you can get a query from them on the portal itself saying, give us few more clarification, and then this goes to the next cycle. Otherwise, if there are no issues and if they score it as per their, if you pass their minimum scoring criteria, within a period of 4 to 5 months, you will get an official email from DIPT or Startup India with the particular certificate and your exemption certificates. That's the usual timeline looks like. And once you are exempted, as I told you, you get a certificate which I showed you, and that certificate you can give it to your CA auditor, and whenever they file it, and you get to choose, by the way. So this exemption is applicable for any 3 years, every 3 consecutive years that you choose. For example, let's say you are in your third year of operation, but you feel that, okay, the profits which are generating are slightly less, and in the next 2 to 3 years, probably your profits could increase or your turnover could increase. You can even wait out, and it can be applied for any 3 consecutive years. So with this particular certificate, your CA will be able to claim this ITR exemption as well. So this is at a very top macro level. Now, let us go through some of the mandatory conditions for you to apply, and then good to have conditions, or in my opinion, these are the conditions which you need to have to get this exemption. So first, on the mandatory type, one is you have to be a private limited company or LLP. If you are proprietorship or partnership firms, you have to first convert into either private limited or LLP, and only then you can apply. As I already told, the incorporation window for your company has to be between 2016 and 2030, and your company shouldn't be more than 10 years old. Recently, I've seen there is a notification from DPIT that for deep tech startups, this definition has been extended to 20 years rather than 10. But again, this is a gray area. It is not come yet on the portal, but I believe soon the eligibility minimum. So for regular startups, it will be 10 years. Within 10 years, you have to apply, or for deep tech startups, probably this will be extended to 20 years. The third criteria is obviously return. Until I believe last year or few months back, this was 100 crores. As long as you have not crossed a turnover of 100 crores in a financial year, you can apply for this, but this has been increased to 200 crores right now. Fourth point is, again, I've told you, you have to have a WIT recognition certificate. Fifth is your company should have a clean formation. It shouldn't be formed by splitting up an existing company or so basically you shouldn't be, you cannot apply it for a JV or let's say your company, you have a group of companies and from that you have made a demerger and you cannot apply on behalf of this demerged or split up company. And finally, something that they will check on, so I'll get a bit deeper into it. Basically, your company shouldn't, let's say you're operating an IT company. So you should be doing some kind of genuine innovation. It shouldn't be a typical services company rather than if you have some innovative solution, if innovative product, uh, only then your application will be considered. Now, in addition to this mandatory list, so there is what I define it as merit list. These are the 5 points that you need to have in order to increase your chances of getting through this particular process. The first one is more about which has to show your revenue growth, scalability, and also I'll show you the exact document that you have to get. But at the top level, what it says is that uh, let's say whenever you apply, you have to supply or you have to upload your last 3 years of financial performance. And in that, at least one of the criteria should satisfy. That is across these 3 years, from year on year, from year one to year two, year two to year three, minimum 10% of growth should be there on your revenues. Or over a period of 2 years, any of the 2 years in three, the growth rate should be 25%. Or let's say you're comparing from year one to year three, it more than 33%. You should satisfy one of these criteria. Second, I would say rather than good to have, that is must have to make you higher up the rank in the scoring criteria is it will be very good if you have among your staff any people with the MTech degrees or PhD degrees, or even in the research papers, there is a placeholder whereby you have to submit this declaration along with their degree certificate or these research papers. This would be one of the must or the recommended one. The third most important part is intellectual property. So you need to have some kind of intellectual property, or at least you might have filed some kind of intellectual property. Usually, when we say of intellectual property, there are 4 categories. One is patents, trademarks, copyrights, or industrial designs. Even if you have filed for one of them, you need to have at least one. Then the fourth category, again, this is, I wouldn't say this is a must, but it increases your chances, which is employment and impact. Mainly your impact on diversification is whether you have at least 10 employees, minimum employees at your firm. And if you have, how many of them are females, or they belong to PWD category, or they belong to backward SC/ST category, or even people who are employed in non-metro. So if you have any of these numbers, this would be very encouraging. Or at least before you make this application, I would encourage you that at least have one of these so that your chances are higher. And the final part is funding or grants. So it's pretty good to have, in case you have already raised a capital from your investors, you have to obviously upload a proof of it. So, but let's say you have not raised any money. So for example, we have never raised any money so far. We have been completely revenue positive and we have got so many grants. So instead of fund proof, we were able to give grant proofs. We have got about 3 to 4 different grants. And even that has sailed whenever we make the application. So these are some of the 5 major dimensions or criteria I would say that you have to tick before you think of making an application. Next up is let's just go in detail about what and all document you have to go and apply there. When you apply, when you have to upload there. One is, in case you're a private limited company, you have to upload your MOA, or if you're a LLP, you can upload your LLP deed. Secondly, there is a standard board resolution format that they give. So saying that you're eligible, it's a self-declaration, you have to upload that. Third is your shareholding pattern, which is again self-explanatory, I'm not well over it. Third is the income tax returns. So basically, you have to have for last 3 financial years, all these 3 documents. One is your ITR acknowledgement, balance sheet, and your profit and loss statements for the previous financial years. Then for these previous financial years, you have to get a CA certificate declaration along with this CA membership number. As I told you already, you need to upload proof for any of your intellectual property. For example, let's say you have filed for any patent, you'll have a patent filing acknowledgement from the patent authority, which confirms your company name as well as what innovation you have made. Similarly for trademarks or copyrights as well. Or if you have already that patent has been granted or a trademark has been granted, you can upload the certificate there. And another very important part that is a huge factor and it's a mandatory part is if you have received any kind of recognitions or validations from the government, or you have won any kind of awards, or you have made any media recognitions, you have to upload the same thing in a form of a document. And the sixth point that I've highlighted here is an optional. Even we didn't have this, we didn't upload this. They have given it as an optional. In case you have any credit rating from any accredited credit agencies, there is a list already on the portal. You can upload that as well. Now, in addition to this, there are some other important factors that you have to take care of. One is the portal will ask you to upload a video 2 to 3 minutes video, but mainly what I found is, in my experience, your video should cover about the problem statement, and the focus should be more on the product demos, what you have done, how the product works, rather than about the problem statement about the team. The focus should be on the product, how it works. Now, the other factor which can make your case better is you have to show in the video itself what is the traction that you have received. And if at all you have active customers, try to get some kind of video testimonials or even written testimonials which you can populate on the video, especially testimonials. Traction as well as your product demo is what is going to help your case when you upload this particular video link. In addition to this, also you have to upload a pitch deck where again there is a clear guideline document which I'm showing you on the right, and you'll get this on the portal as well. It has a detailed things which you need to upload, but at a very top level, mainly it has to focus on your product. Here you can speak about your founding team, your experience, your background, then your revenue as well as business models. In case you have got any grants or investment, you can highlight that, and customers and contact. You can, so there is a 12 to 13 checklist that is there on the pitch deck guidelines. You can just follow it and make sure that you tick all of those when you upload this. So I already covered briefly about this, but just to reiterate, so let's say even if you're revenue positive, but you have to satisfy one of these criteria. Just to again reiterate, over a period of 3 years, from year 1 to year 2 to year 2 to year 3, you have to at least have 10% revenue growth, or over a period of 2 years, 25% revenue growth, or over a period of 3 years, 33% revenue growth. And you'll get a declaration document, something similar to this, which has to be given on your letterhead and which is countersigned by your CA as well. And which has to be supported by the ITR acknowledgements, balance sheet, and profit and loss statements. The another part which I have briefly mentioned is there is another declaration which you have to submit, similar to the previous declaration, is proving your innovation depth. So I highly recommend that at least you, so there is a category whereby you recognize that 1 to 10% of the employees have a higher MTech or a PhD degree. So you see this self-explanatory 2 to 3 categories. At least make sure that you have one employee who is in this, but either who also MTech or PhD, and you have to also upload his degree certificate along with it. Or if you have that, if they have any kind of journals, that will also ease your case. Then finally, for proof of employment also, for diversification employment, there is a separate declaration format. And again, it's self-explanatory. You have to tick your respective places. Even if you have 10 employees, that's fine. But especially the second category, that is, you see here, employment with females, person with disabilities, or people from SC/ST categories, at least try to not come in the 0% bracket. And similarly for non-metro cities as well, at least try to have few employees in non-metro cities, which will make your which will make the scoring by IMD better chance to score higher score on the IMD score sheet. Then there is also, as I told you, proof of funding and grants, whereby in case you have got a funding, so you have your funding letter or the term sheet that you have signed, you can upload the same thing. Or if you don't have received any funding, I would say that receiving at least one grant from government or anybody else, you can upload that proof as well. So finally, to summarize, as I told you, what makes your case very strong is obviously you have to upload all your mandatory certificates. Your pitch deck has to be pretty crisp, especially it has to tell what the problem statement is, and it has to indicate that it is highly innovative. And if you have any tech or IP mode, try to highlight the same, and same traction has to be highlighted there. demo video or the video that you upload, I would say, is one of the most important documents, and make sure that you put enough effort on it to make it interesting, and it mainly covers your product demo and all other important documents such as audited financials, proof of innovation. I think on the right side, I've already spoken about it. Let me not repeat myself, but uh, do not, even if you are innovative, sometimes we try to downplay our product. So I would say that try to hype up your product as much as possible. Try to play the innovation angle. Do not sound like it's one more services company. It's another product which is already existing there. So that will make your chances of winning extremely less. Uh, and coming to the main point, right? So all of this is good, but when to apply and what are the few key strategies to win? I already told you what are the main points that you have to take care of. But in my opinion, at least once you have crossed 3 years of operation, that is at least you have 3 years of history, is the best time I would say to apply. I mean, you can apply later as well. We applied quite later on a 6th year of operation. And also I would encourage you that do not make this application until at least you cross a turnover of at least 1 crore and you're profitable. Uh, in case you're a loss-making company, I don't think you'll make through this particular application. You have to be a profitable company. And once you get the grant, do not hurry to go and, so let's say, for example, you got this particular certificate and you have a window of 6 years. Do not go and apply this exemption in a hurry, because in case you're pretty confident that you're going to have a higher growth down the year, right? So you can pick up, since you have 6 more years, you can wait it out and see from which years your exponential growth will start, and you can start applying there. And I think I've told this, please make sure that, again, I'm reiterating, you have at least one of the IPs filed, patent or trademark or copyright filed. You have at least 1 or 2 awards which you have applied, awards within your company. The third is at least make sure that somebody with the higher education, that is MTech or research background, is there on your company. And it is a publisher scalable product. And one more very important thing, because this is where we failed and our process kind of went to the next cycle, please. Typically, all we know that by this time, by this month or next month, our CS give us the final audited statements, and you go and apply, right? And that's where you get the audited statement. Usually it's in July or August, practically June, July, August. Uh, Post this is the right time for you to apply. Do not delay it to some of the last months of the quarter. So what happens is, let's say you make an application in February or especially March. So in the application, as you saw, you have to upload the last 3 financial year statements, right? And you might have made this application and you slip into the next financial year. And by the time the new IMB convenes, it might be July or August. And by that time, what they will say is that, no, you go and upload your the latest financial statement again. So you have to start all over. So I would say that the best time to make this application is from August to December. Max to maximum, do not cross. Even we made this application in January, the early part of January. But if it is anything after January, do not make this application. Make it in the next fresh financial year. So this is with this, I'll stop my presentation, and if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Hope it was helpful for you.
So we are open.
Yes, Manasa.
We are open to Q&A. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask me.
Yeah, this is not a question. It is just from my side to add on what Mr. Neil said. See, when we incorporate startup, many consultants were approached us for charging for submission and all these things. We submitted ourselves. Again, as an example, I don't think we need to get into paying some fee for some third party or something. It is very easy to submit ourselves. Neil,
Yes, Pranesh. Yes,
yeah.
Pranesh. Do not. So a lot of people will try to approach you, saying that
Yeah.
for this, and even for a lot of grants, usually all of this you can do it on your own. Do not use any kind of third parties. Again, they cannot cast any magic, come and do any magic there. All they can do is make your application, that's it. And even there, they will take a cut of your they either take a fee from you, or let's say you're getting any grants, they will take cut from that. So I think the founders themselves are equipped enough to make this application on your own, since you know your product better.
Yes, second thing is generally this inter-ministry meeting where this ATIAC is reviewed, it is once in 6 months. And again, that time is defined, and while submitting the application, we should be knowing it takes some time. It is not quick or something based on their meeting schedule.
Yes.
Right, Neil?
Yes, yes, yes. That's pretty rare. Sometimes they do it for 3 times a year as well. Because officially right now, early on the frequency was bit late. Like as you told, it used to happen twice a year, but recently the SOP has been renewed. So right now they have a target of coming back to the applicants within the day of 120. But again, I've seen usually it takes 4 to 5 months for them to come back to you. Yeah, if there are no questions, I think Manus, I can share this deck with you. So if anyone is interested, you can share this deck with them as well.
Yes, Neil. Yeah, I'll do that. So thank you. Thank you, Neil. Thank you for the session. So it was actually a very interesting session also. And then I can share with all our startups, like all the participants who have been in the call. So thank you all for joining today. Then we'll be doing more webinars on a startup, all those things. So you can join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Neil and Mansa. Thank you.
Thank you.